Part 15. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 144. The black shadow suddenly extended from the feet, heading towards the shadow of Hinata. However, before the shadow extends to Hinata's feet, Hinata had already pointed at his neck. Gaga, I have seen through your plan a long time ago. The villain pretends to surrender and then sneak attacks on the protagonist. It's so cliché. The little carrot head of Nara was dumbfounded. His plan. He was actually discovered by Hinata Hikaru. And now he found that he couldn't move. What kind of evil method is this? The little Nara carrot head looked back and forth in horror. However, the only parts of his body that could move were his eyes. This is called soft fist acupuncture technique. Hinata slowly retracted her finger. In fact, it is a technique that uses chakra to hit the opponent's spinal nerves and temporarily paralyze the opponent. Then, Hinata looked around at everyone. Who else is dissatisfied? The freshmen who came into contact with her gaze lowered their heads or avoided looking. After a while, seeing no one refuted, Hinata Hikaru announced again. From today, in Konoha Ninja School, I will cover the sky with one hand. I am the biggest leader. Do you have any objection? Hinata raised her hands nervously. However, at this moment, no one dared to object. Many times, the big fist is the last word. Hinata Hikari has the biggest fist, so they have to obey even if they don't want to. The leader of Hinata Light has been around for thousands of years, a bucket of paste. At this time, someone suddenly shouted a slogan. Then, voices sounded in twos and threes. In the end, it became overwhelming. The leader of the Hinata Light sect has lived for thousands of years, but only a bucket of paste. From the school gate, to the open space in front, and to the teaching building, Hinata's name is everywhere. However, the faces of Dozawa and other ninja teachers who were looking out of the window of the teaching building turned green. This Hinata Hikaru is so capable of causing trouble. Especially teacher Wuke, he almost fainted with anger. This looks like a cult scene. I don't know, I thought it was the cult leader performing some evil ritual. Preparing for a meeting. Teacher Wuke roared, opened the door and rushed out of the staff office. Apparently, he was on the verge of being driven crazy. 20 minutes later, Teacher Wuke summoned all the ninja teachers on duty today. Regarding the planning meeting to discuss Hikari Hinata. That's the name of the meeting. Hikaru Hinata basically walks sideways in the ninja school. Taking care of those new poor students has also reduced our energy. From this point of view, it is a good thing. The ninja teachers glanced at each other and talked about Hinata Hikari. The oldest teacher, Wuke, with a bright forehead, was uncharacteristically sitting quietly in his chair, listening to the discussions of his colleagues. No, no, no. You can't just see one side. Some ninja teachers began to refute. Hikaru Hinata did get rid of those bad students, but the problem is, she destroyed the self-confidence of all normal students. What are you talking about? Teacher Michiko asked subconsciously. As the teacher who taught Hyuga Hikaru the art of illusion, Michiko couldn't help but want to protect Hinata Hikaru in her heart. Hinata Hikaru, strictly speaking, he is her first disciple. Coupled with Hinata Hikaru's stunning success in the prefectural examination and the competition against Kyomagakure, Michiko's inner attitude has completely changed. From a bad boy to a lovable good boy. Hikaru Hinata, here. The ninja teacher pointed hard at his head. Everyone suddenly realized. Hikaru Hinata is a mental patient. The other 99.9999% of students are normal people. Now, a mentally ill person has become a god. This is a huge blow to all normal people. They begin to doubt life, and some students are even confused all day long and cannot accept this fact. As the student himself said, "Tell me, How come Hinata Hikaru, a little mentally ill person, suddenly became the big boss in the ninja school? In the conference room, the ninja teachers couldn't help but remain silent. Shadows covered each of their cheeks, making it difficult to see their expressions. It was clearly sunny outside, but, here it was shrouded in clouds. If she continues to stay in the ninja school, it will have a bad impact on other normal students. A ninja teacher broke the silence and emphasized the word normal. How about, let her graduate early? Another ninja teacher made the suggestion, and the conference room suddenly exploded. The one who had the biggest reaction was not Dozawa, but Mr. Michiko. No, I refuse. The handsome Kunoichi stood up and clapped her hands on the table. Hikaru Hinata is only 8.5 years old this year, she is still just a child, letting her graduate so early is tantamount to sending her to death. You also know the recent situation in the ninja world. The situation is not stable. Michiko's tone changed from high-pitched to low-pitched, and finally silent. The Second Ninja World War. This name appeared in the minds of everyone present. Although the war has not started yet, it is already coming. After 20 years of peace, war will definitely break out. There was another moment of silence. Wait, I thought of a good idea. At this moment, Teacher Wuke smiled excitedly. He smiled so happily, and after breathing heavily, he stood up from his seat and looked around at everyone. Everyone, haven't you ever thought about finding someone to treat Hinata Hikaru's mental illness? Silence, Chiguakyo's silence. Then, everyone was suddenly shocked. That's right, why don't you find someone to give Hinata a good treatment? But Dozawa weakly raised his right hand. Didn't Hinata Hikaru spend a lot of time in a mental hospital? If he could be cured, he would have recovered a long time ago. Everyone's expressions of wanting to laugh froze on their faces again. It's like a roller coaster in my heart. But I saw Teacher Wuke wave his hand vigorously. The medical ninjas like the quacks, wine bags, rice bags, etc. can't do it this time. I decided to ask the 3 top medical ninjas, Uzumaki Mito-sama, Sarutobi Biwako-sama, and Tsunade, to personally go out and treat Hinata Hikaru. It is good. This is good. The ninja teachers applauded and applauded enthusiastically, as if there was a lively celebration party. Mito Uzumaki masters the sealing techniques of the Uzumaki clan and powerful medical ninjutsu. Sarutobi Biwako, the highest representative of the medical ninja in Umbu. Tsunade, a new generation of medical ninja who is better than others. As long as these 3 people take action, even mental illness can be cured, let alone mental illness. I have a relationship with Tsunade, I'm going to find Tsunade. My second uncle's neighbor's sister's cousin's second aunt was once a subordinate of Lord Uzumaki Mito. I'm going to invite her. The ninja teachers were extremely excited. In order to save Hinata Hikari, and to save the poor 99.9999% normal students, they decided to make Hinata Hikaru a normal person. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 145. Oh, I almost forgot one thing, today is the annual physical examination day, I announce. Later everyone will line up to go outside to receive the medical class physical examination. Tang Ziyi stood in the classroom, his face not red, his heart not beating, and he was in a panic. Suddenly, the students in the classroom began to whisper. The medical squad, as the name suggests, is a group of medical ninjas. In Konoha, most of the medical ninjas belong to the medical class. The medical team is spread over a wide area. There is a medical ninja who is still serving as a member of his team under a slightly different name. There are also dedicated medical ninjas who work in Konoha Hospital and other departments. Of course, there are also medical ninjas who walk around and participate in treatment. The development of drugs and medical ninjutsu are also indispensable. Teacher Dozawa, I have never heard of a physical examination day. A naughty child raised his hand to express his doubts about Tang's statement. This shows that you are still young and don't know many things. This is normal. Tangs waved and calmly asked his students to sit down. Although the boy still felt that something was wrong, he still sat back down in doubt. Teacher Dozawa, does the physical examination cost money? Another girl raised her hand weakly. The way she fell down when the strong wind blew was partly due to nature, but the root cause was that this girl came from a very ordinary family and was born in the common people. Thanks to the free education in the ninja school, otherwise, she might not even have a chance to enter here. The girl's speech caused others to start talking. After all, most people are from civilian backgrounds and cannot afford expensive medical bills. It costs money to go to the hospital here, and it also costs money there. Ordinary people cannot afford to get sick. This is why you want to be a ninja. In many cases, a ninja's medical care is free. It's a kind of welfare treatment. Tang Ziyi was silent. It seems that he noticed that the atmosphere was a bit solemn. Without his instructions, the classroom became very quiet. The physical examination is of course free of charge. Tang Ziyi is telling the truth. Because the so-called physical examination plan is a trap specially designed for Hinata Hikari. Using this excuse, Hinata Hikaru's mental illness can be treated. As the saying goes, know yourself and the enemy, and you can fight 100 battles without danger. The most important thing in ninja combat is intelligence. Dozawa and others collected Hinata Hikaru's past information from the psychiatric department, an affiliated department of Konoha Hospital, and finally came to the conclusion. Hinata is very resistant to treatment. Therefore, Dozawa and others devised a plan to cure Hinata Hikaru's disease without anyone noticing. Afterwards, the students followed Doze outside. Sure enough, a group of medical ninjas wearing yellow and white coats had already set up an open-air testing site and began to conduct physical examinations for students in the open space outside the teaching building. The students entered the semi-covered temporary tents one by one to draw blood, conduct tests, perform medical ninjutsu. Not a bad one. Not to mention, it has been found that many people suffer from some hidden diseases or other problems. The unintentional actions of Dozawa and other ninja teachers saved the precious lives of many naughty children. After they are cured, these naughty children can go back to harm others. Hinata Hikaru and Namikaze Minato were also queuing up. As students walked out one by one, Hinata became more and more curious, and even subconsciously wanted to use her Byakugan to see through. However, a big hand stretched out from beside her and patted her little head. It's Dozawa. Hyuga Hikari, the timing of using the Byakugan depends on it, please respect the privacy of others. Tang said very proudly. Quack, this leader is just curious. Hinata Hikari smiled innocently, her cute and silly smile was very deceptive. However, Dozawa said that he has experienced many battles, and Hinata Hikaru's little trick can no longer deceive him at all. I won't be hurt this time because my heart is numb. JPG. Tang said in his heart. When it was Hinata's turn to enter the small tent, she suddenly discovered that there were acquaintances there. Quack, it's Tsunade. I want to call you sister. Tsunade pretended to be angry. But he still warmly greeted Hinata to come over. Tsunade is the primary person in charge of this plan to treat Hyuga Hikari. In fact, at the beginning, when Tsunade knew that someone asked her to treat others, Tsunade refused. Because Tsunade was very busy gambling. Otherwise, drinking and doing tasks just waste money. Then gamble again. The great first Hokage Senju Hashirama once said, "The most precious thing for people is life. Life belongs to people only once. A person's life should be spent like this." When he looks back on the past, he will not regret for wasting his years, nor will he feel ashamed for doing nothing. In this way, when he was dying, he could say, "My whole life and all my energy have been dedicated to the most magnificent cause in the world, fighting for the gambling of mankind." Therefore, Tsunade immediately rejected the offer of visiting the doctor. It's not making money anyway, so if you have the time, you might as well do a few tasks. However, how could Tangs and others give up? That would cost them their lives. So they started to use reason and emotion, and finally said that they were treating Hinata Hikaru. As we all know, Tsunade's medical ninjutsu is very outstanding. So, let her diagnose Hinata Hikaru's brain and cure it. Indefinite. It turns out it's because of that little girl. Tsunade agreed immediately without any hesitation. Because the object is daylight, the conclusion is different. She generously stopped by and called the people in the medical class. Another widely known thing is, the medical ninjas in the medical class are basically Tsunade's licking dogs. In all aspects. Whether it's because of Tsunade's medical ninjutsu or, because of Tsunade's temperament and appearance. Tsunade raised her arms and the medical ninjas gave up their jobs and rushed from all over to check up on the naughty children. Tsunade sat down, nodded, and looked at Hinata Hikaru with her brown eyes. "Hikaru Hinata, next, I want to check your veins and start the various steps of the physical examination, do you understand?" Hinata nodded her little head. "Hey, look at this cute and sensible look, much better than his stinky brother." Tsunade is in mourning. After that, she put her hand on Hinata Hikaru's wrist, as if diagnosing a pulse. But not again. A medical ninja who can release special chakra. In fact, it uses the special chakra generated by the Yang attribute, which is the essence of medical ninjutsu, to obtain results similar to the perception ability, that is, the internal diagnosis of the human body. Tsunade began to concentrate, then, slowly guided the chakra into Hinata Hikaru's body, and finally, into her mind. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 146. 5 minutes later. Tsunade didn't speak. 10 minutes later. Well, the inspection is over, okay. Tsunade smiled, Hinata stood up and left. How are you, Tsunade-sama? At this time, Dozawa and others appeared from the side. Teacher Wuke also looked at Tsunade seriously. He must be one of the people who most hopes to cure Hinata Hikaru's mental problems. Because he really couldn't accept Hinata's misbehavior. But seeing, Tsunade shook her head gently. Hinata's condition is basically in a state of no solution. I'm sorry, even I can't help it. A gust of cold wind blew by, freezing Tangzi and others into sculptures. Then, it was beating the chest and stamping the feet. No, I don't approve. Wuke said through gritted teeth, feeling a little mentally unstable. That guy Hinata Hikaru, taking advantage of his mental problems, often does some unforgivable things. His random thoughts and vicious gestures were seen by everyone. Asshole, I will never allow a black sheep like this to stay on campus. Veins appeared on Wuke's forehead. He muttered and walked out. Tsunade looked at Wuke's bright forehead and made a gesture. Teacher Wuke seems to be a little undernourished. Ahem, Tsunade-sama, is there really nothing we can do? Tangzi coughed and said quickly. No. Tsunade shook her head firmly. Her attitude made Dozawa and others unconsciously feel frustrated. After that, these ninja teachers said goodbye to Tsunade, opened the curtain behind, and left here. Tsunade put her hands on the table and kneaded them with her fingers. The temporary tent fell into an eerie silence. Then, Tsunade looked up at the person next to her. An important member of the medical team. He was also the attending physician after Hinata Hikari was sent to a mental hospital. Seeing Tsunade's glance, he unconsciously looked away. Certainly not because of shyness. Rather, I didn't expect, the Hyuga clan would hide such a thing. Tsunade, this is not something you or I can dictate. The medical class ninja shook his head. Before he could finish speaking, the tent opened and another person entered. Tsunade turned her head. It was Hinata Xiao. Excuse me, how is Hinata's situation? Ri Xiang Xiao came over and sat down directly. The physical examination is all good, Tsunade said calmly. When Ri Xiang Xiao heard this result, she shook her head. No, that's not what I asked. It's not this one, it's which one? The Hyuga clan, has Byakugan. After a moment of silence, Hyuga Xiao responded. In other words, the true purpose of Wu Kei and others has been discovered by Ri Xiang Xiao. So what if you know? Tsunade stared at Hinata Xiao very calmly. I know, it really can't be done. Because Hinata Xiao doesn't know medical ninjutsu, even if she does, she's still not as good as Tsunade. Moreover, he always felt that there was something in Tsunade's words. Ri Xiang Xiao, you are very smart, at least, among the brats I have seen, you are among the best. Tsunade suddenly chuckled. Of course, it's much worse than Namikaze Minato, further away from Hinata. Hinata Xiao didn't have any special reaction because of Tsunade's words. He sat there quietly, listening to Tsunade's words. Very well educated, but Tsunade didn't like it. You are a member of the clan. In many matters, you have to follow the old path of your clan. Tsunade thought for a moment whether to continue, but she eventually gave up on the idea. If you want a physical examination, hurry up or leave. Tsunade's words were full of prejudice against the clan. Even Ri Xiang Xiao himself can see this. However, he also had reasons why he couldn't retreat. I want to know, why Hinata Hikari is in this mental state and why other tribesmen have no problem. Ri Xiang Xiao had a question in her heart. This question naturally arose after coming into contact with daylight. That is, why is it that among the entire Hyuga clan, only Hinata Hikari is mentally abnormal? Isn't it normal for a few special people to appear in a clan? Tsunade said nonchalantly. Many ethnic groups have intermarriage among close relatives. Over time, problems will definitely arise. This is a very common thing. No, this is not normal. Ri Xiang Xiao shook her head. If it were other ethnic groups, this reason would be reasonable, but for the Hyuga clan, it's not suitable. Why? Tsunade seemed to ask knowingly. Ri Xiang Xiao almost wanted to speak, but seemed to be hesitant. Because that is the dark side of the Hyuga clan. Maybe Tsunade is testing Ri Xiang Xiao's consciousness, maybe there is, maybe not. Finally, Hinata was heartbroken and said it neatly. My clan has the blood inheritance limit white eyes. When the fetus is just formed, the development of the fetus will be observed through the white eyes. Those deformed children, fetuses with congenital defects, all will be taken away. Silence. Then there is the unbearable eerie atmosphere. This is, a darkness that the Hyuga clan will not preach to others. For thousands of years, the Hyuga clan has refused to marry outsiders in order to maintain the purity of their bloodline. And after a long period of 1,000 years, the consequence of doing this, is that the probability of problems for the descendants of a clan will become greater and greater, and there will be more and more problems. Haha, Ri Xiang Xiao, you really dare to say. Tsunade smiled, her smile full of sarcasm. Self-exposure of dark history and so on. I'm more curious, how do you know these things? For Tsunade, Hinata Xiao is too young, only 8.5 years old. Generally speaking, she will not be exposed to these things. If you don't want others to know, you have to do nothing yourself. Xiangxiao said these words in a strange tone. Tsunade tilted her head and thought for a while. This sentence was said by Hinata Hikari. Xiangxiao did not deny it, but continued. So, when Hinata Hikaru is born, he will definitely be a healthy tribesman. So, what is the reason that makes her become like this? There must be something unknown in this. Won't you ask your master? Tsunade said with a backhand. She was referring to Hinata Yoshitatsu. As the second in command of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Yoshitatsu must know about it, and may even be personally involved. Ri Xiangxiao was speechless. Humph. Tsunade snorted. She was the kind of person with a short temper, which meant her patience was limited. She's had enough of this word game and waiting. Ri Xiangxiao, I'll make it clear. P.S. Thanks to book friend Fafa 688 for tipping. Thanks to the book friend Dead Fish Can Swim for the 500 reward. Thanks to book friends Kohara Hikazuie and a few pieces for the 100 reward. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 147. Let me tell you clearly, Hinata's brain was damaged for a certain reason. That reason, I don't need to tell you, even you, a member of the Zone family, should be able to guess it. Tsunade emphasized the word Zone family in particular, and at the same time, there was an unspeakable anger brewing in her eyes. In an instant, Ri Xiangxiao thought of that thing. In other words, he had already guessed it, but he didn't say it clearly. The seal of the caged bird. Ri Xiangxiao murmured, a look of confusion appeared on his face. That's right, it's the caged bird seal. This curse seal invented by your clan destroyed Hinata's brain and made her what she is now. Tsunade was angry. Her anger could even be felt by her colleagues next to her. Tsunade, watch your words. The medical ninja reminded. Humph. Tsunade snorted, took a deep breath, and regained her composure. She knew that this matter had nothing to do with Ri Xiangxiao. Hinata Xiao is just a child. But Tsunade was still angry. The reason is that Ri Xiangxiao is also a member of the clan. It's useless even if you know this, Ri Xiangxiao. Tsunade said sarcastically. You can't do anything and you can't change everything. Ri Xiangxiao is a member of the clan. Hinata Hikari is a member of the family. The Zone family is always aloof. Not only did they not say equality in their words, they were also equally unequal in their actions. Ri Xiangxiao is still a child now, but he will grow up one day. When that day comes, he will join in the same trap as other clan members. For the power, status, or so-called bloodline of the clan. So, Hikaru Hinata is not the first, nor the last. You can go out. Tsunade almost blasted Hinata Xiao out. When Ri Xiangxiao walked out of the tent, Ri Xiangguang's voice sounded next to her. God, Ri Xiangxiao, you look very sad. Could it be that you have been diagnosed with a terminal illness? Ri Xiangxiao said nothing. But he recognized Hinata's statement in his heart. He is indeed suffering from a terminal illness, or, the entire Hyuga clan is sick. Hinata's carefreeness was in stark contrast to his reaction. Under the big tree of Konoha, there was darkness. Under the slogans of justice, fairness, and equality, it is full of inequality. The relationship between the clan and branch families is like that of slave owners and slaves. Hinata Xiao is somewhat disgusted with the Hyuga clan. He couldn't express his inner anguish to others. There's no point in talking to Hinata Hikaru. Talking to other clan members is even more useless. Hinata asked him to witness it through time. Rixiang Xiao doesn't know. I wonder if I will become numb like other clan members in the future, and even sit complacently in a high position, looking down at the branch families below. He was afraid of it. Life is not created equal. Not just the Hyuga clan, but the entire world. So, what exactly is right? Ri Xiangxiao was confused about her life path for the first time. Suddenly, he turned his head and looked at Hinata. Hyugako, what is your ideal? Hinata Xiao looked at Hinata Hikari seriously, this time, not with his senses, but with his eyes. The weather is exceptionally sunny today. Hinata's smile was as cheerful as ever. Compared with the perception of outlined lines, the scene seen with the naked eye is undoubtedly more colorful. Why do you suddenly ask this? This is a normal human reaction. And Hikaru Hinata is obviously different. Quack. Hinata smiled strangely. My leader's ideal is of course the stars and the sea. The world is very broad. There are countless stars in the sky, and each star may be a world. The ninja world beneath our feet is just a drop in the ocean. Hinata Hikaru believes that she has the opportunity to see a wider world in her life. What Hinata Hikaru said was very funny. But Ri Xiangxiao could detect the pride in Ri Xiangguang's tone. Her carefreeness, her cheerfulness was also conveyed to Ri Xiangxiao. But this made Ri Xiangxiao's mood even more dilapidated. That, Hikari-san. Namikaze Minato coughed a few times and had some questions. Hinata Hikari turned her head and looked at Namikaze Minato. At the same time, she kept pointing her hand above her head. It's daytime now. Namikaze Minato reminded that stars could not be seen now. But, Namikaze Minato, no matter it is day or night, they are always in the sky. Hinata said seriously. Namikaze Minato was stunned, obviously not expecting Hinata Hikaru to answer like this. And, it makes perfect sense. Yes. Namikaze Minato smiled. Whether it's night, or day, the stars are always in the sky. Ri Xiangxiao looked at the interaction between the two and became more confused. This guy Namikaze Minato seems to have always been special. More importantly, why is he not worried about Hinata Hikaru at all? Staring at Namikaze Minato's gentle smile, Hinata Xiao didn't understand even more. The morning passed and the physical examination process was over. Ri Xiangxiao never spoke. When the school bell rang, Minato Namikaze stopped Hinata Xiao. After a while, they were the only two people left in the classroom. Hinata Hikaru showed an expression of I understand and left first. As for what Hinata Hikaru knew, whether it is Beethoven or philosophy, it is not enough for outsiders to understand. Ri Xiangxiao, although it's a bit abrupt to ask this, I still want to know if you have really been diagnosed with any hidden diseases. After some pondering, Namikaze Minato spoke. He said it very tactfully. Use a hidden disease instead of a terminal disease that Hinata Hikaru just opened his mouth to. See how considerate of others Minato Namikaze is. Don't worry, I won't die. Ri Xiangxiao shook his head and then added another sentence. It's enough to live to be 30. The so-called living to 30 is enough, this is not a feng shui gate. Many members of the Hyuga clan have short lifespans. All this is due to intermarriage within the clan. After 30, not many people died suddenly. Even if one day, the strongest ninja of the Hyuga clan, the clan leader Hinata Hiten suddenly dies suddenly, Hyuga Xiao will not be surprised. Death comes silently and quietly, and then takes away the lives of the Hyuga clan. But this also leads to members of the Hyuga clan generally get married very early. Getting married before the age of 20 is the norm. And, there's also the ancient and feudal thing of arranged marriages. Yes. Namikaze Minato pondered for a moment. After that, he spoke again. If I'm not wrong, you are worried about the Hyuga clan. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 148. Minato Namikaze, no one ever said you were too smart. Xiangxiao turned sideways and stared at him. This guy Namikaze Minato seems to know a lot of things, but also seems to, don't know. A mystery shrouds him. Just like Hikari. The two of them, have secrets that they don't know. Xiangxiao can feel it. However, no matter how keen Xiangxiao's senses are, it was impossible for him to know about Hinata Hikari's rebirth. It's even more impossible to know that Hinata is a person from a completely different planet. Namikaze Minato scratched his head and smiled in response. Since Xiangxiao said this, it was equivalent to admitting it. No need to worry, Hinataxio-san. Namikaze Minato turned around and looked out the window. Hinata's back was looming among the crowd after school. Many times, you just need to trust Hinata Hikari-san. As he has experienced all along, Namikaze Minato has always believed in and supported Hinata. You mean, we just have to watch? Xiangxiao asked, with a questioning tone in his tone. Of course not. Namikaze Minato shook his head. There will be someone to help Hinata Hikari-san, always. People who come into contact with Hinata will always want to help her involuntarily. Namikaze Minato is, and so are the others. There is no need to worry that Hinata Hikaru alone is not strong enough. Because there are many human beings in this world, and there are many people who can be companions. Daylight can be very weak. However, as more and more people help her, she becomes stronger and stronger. So, as long as you help her within your ability, can you do it with enough strength? The figures of two people stood in the classroom at noon. Hinata Hikari was walking on her way home. As usual. But when she arrived at the school gate, she hesitated a little. I was thinking, should I try Ichiraku ramen instead? As a result, Hinata Hikaru fell into difficulty in choosing. After all, it's time to go left and eat Ichiraku ramen. Or, go to the right and return to the Hyuga clan mansion. What? Hinata Hikaru just calmed her little face and fell into dull contemplation. Current total wealth. 8 million taels. This is what Hinata Hikaru has experienced over the past semester, and has been tricked and deceived through various incidents. 8 taels is not much, but many ninja tools, blades, etc. are worth more than 1 million taels. But that's a lot less, because a big bowl of Ichiraku ramen only costs $60. As for why it is not the previous 40 yuan or 50 yuan. Naturally, this is because the situation in the ninja world is unstable and prices are skyrocketing. When the war starts, it might even go up. So, before the war starts, it is more cost-effective to eat a few more bowls, oh no, dozens or hundreds of bowls of ramen. Hinata Hikaru decided that she was going to eat ramen. But before that, would you like to treat Hinata to a meal? What if he was indeed diagnosed with an incurable disease? However, at this time, a voice suddenly came from the front. What happened? Hinata raised his head and saw the crowd that quickly gathered around him. It seems that she is not the only one who likes to watch the fun. After slowly walking into the crowd outside the school gate, Hinata Hikaru discovered a strange scene. There is someone who is confronting Momika Senju. Needless to say, Senju Muka is a holy mother and a student of Michiko's Class 1 class. Of course, Hikaru Hinata discovered something recently. Senju Momika is Sarutobi Ryo's mistress. In the beginning, Sarutobi Ryo retaliated against her in various ways because Senju Muka was beaten up by Hinata Hikaru. No, as soon as Senju Muka argued with the man, Sarutobi Ryo stood over silently. Although there was a distance, one could still see Ryo Sarutobi's concern for Senju Momika. This taste is very unique. Oh no no no. Hinata thought again. Maybe it's because of political correctness. The old man Sandame is the Hokage and the leader of the Sarutobi clan. The Senju clan is the largest clan in Konoha. When the Sarutobi clan comes to power, certain things will inevitably be affected. If the Sarutobi clan wants to convince the public, in addition to the Sandame Hokage himself, he may also need some voice. For example, the marriage between the Sarutobi clan and the Senju clan. Gaga, this leader is so smart. Sunlight, beautiful. Then, she turned her eyes and looked at the guy confronting Senju Muka. The long single braid hangs down the back of her head, it's a girl. This reminds Hinata Hikaru of the two Akumi from Hidden Cloud Village, who also had the same hairstyle. Hair color is black, fairly common. But it's so dark that it's so bright and smooth, with no trace of mixed colors, it's very reminiscent of the Uchiha clan. Especially her expression. Extremely arrogant and disdainful, this makes him even more like the Uchiha clan with their nostrils turned upward. Obviously, her expression was directed at Senju Momo. You pushed others down and didn't apologize. Senchou Momo held up a girl who fell to the ground. It's Obara. Hinata Hikaru knows her because Obara and Hinata Hikaru belong to the same class too. What's your name and why do you do this? With Senju Momika's questioning and the pitiful performance of the weak Ohara-san, the number of onlookers grew more and more. Soon, a large encirclement was formed. You have no right to know, women. The other party crossed his arms across his chest and said very coldly and arrogantly. This sentence made Senju Momo very angry. Aren't you a woman? Senju Momo was about to question, when a hand stretched out from beside her. It's Ryo Sarutobi. Sarutobi Ryo signaled Senju Muka not to worry. Although Senju Momika was very angry, she still helped Obara-san up first. As for the Hokage, Ryo Sarutobi, the son of the Inyagoto village chief, spoke after looking at the other person. I've never met you, you're not a student at a ninja school. Judging from his age, he is similar to the people around him, about 8 or 9 years old. But it was a new face that I had never seen before. After hearing this, the surrounding primary school students started talking one after another. Later, everyone came to the conclusion that this girl was indeed not from the Konoha ninja school. So, who is she? Then he saw those eyes as bright as stars staring at Sarutobi Ryo. Whether I am from the ninja school or not, has nothing to do with you. Arrogant, very arrogant. Everyone said that they had not seen such an arrogant kid for a long time. There are actually people dare to commit evil on the spot in broad daylight. It's worth it? Who are you, stupid ex-woman? Where did the bastard come from who pushed someone down and apologized? Shit, guilty. The students suddenly became excited. Since she is not a student of this school, there is no need to be afraid of her. Moreover, this guy doesn't even know Sarutobi Ryo, the son of the Hokage, so he might be an unsophisticated guy who just showed up somewhere. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 149. Your name. Sarutobi Ryo waved his hand to signal everyone to be quiet. I have to say that Sarutobi Ryo is very majestic. When he showed a serious look, he really looked a bit like his old father. So, it didn't take long for things to calm down. Your name. Sarutobi Ryo asked again. Still no response. Your name? The third time, the other party finally raised his head, but the answer he gave made the scene once again fall into a state of excitement. You have no right to know, Sarutobi Ryo. This sentence set off the scene. Sarutobi Ryo showed an unexpected look. He was sure, he had never met this girl, so, how did the other party know about him? Even if he is the son of the Sandaime Hokage. It is good. Sarutobi nodded. Since you are not qualified, then I won't ask, I just ask you, why did you push down Mr. Obara? Obara-san, who was helped up, also looked at the other party with an innocent look. Humph. The other party snorted coldly, and then said loudly. This woman is blocking my way. It's blocking your way. Yes. The girl nodded. She's blocking my way, so I have to push her away. It's that simple. Arrogant, domineering, and unreasonable. Everyone stared at her with wide eyes and disbelief. Why is it like this? That's too outrageous. What happened? Namikaze Minato and Hinata Xiao also appeared in the crowd here. Hinata Hikaru told the two of them what happened here, and soon, Namikaze Minato and Hinata Xiao understood what was going on. After hearing the students' discussion, the other party gave a hard hum. In this barbaric world, the weak should make way for the strong. Alas! Hinata Hikaru suddenly felt that this line sounded familiar. The weak eat the strong. Ri Xiang Xiao murmured. Some people listen without intention, but some people listen with intention. At this moment, Ri Xiang Xiao suddenly figured it out. The reason why the Hyuga clan is divided into the main family and the branch family is because the branch family is too weak and the main family is too strong. The Hyuga clan's system of divided clans, which can be called slave owners and slaves, is a manifestation of the law of the jungle. The reason why people are unequal is that they are strong and weak. This world, there are only the strong and the weak. Hinata Hikaru didn't know what was going on in Ri Xiang Xiao's heart. She was looking at the girl curiously, trying hard to think who this person was. However, Namikaze Minato opened his eyes and seemed to notice something. Sarutobi Ryo frowned. You are too arrogant. Arrogant, haven't you ever bullied others by relying on your status, strength, or even your status as a normal person? I don't know if it's an illusion, but this girl seems to have emphasized the word normal person. The voices that originally condemned her behavior suddenly stopped. Look, you really have a guilty conscience, the other party snorted coldly. It must be said that she captured everyone's pain points. Almost everyone here has done something to bully someone. Especially relying on his status as a normal person, he sneered at Hinata Hikaru. Even Sarutobi Ryo looked gloomy. But obviously, one code leads to the other, and Sarutobi Ryo is not the kind of person who can simply be ignored. He shook his head and said, we have realized our mistakes, and corrected them. How about you? Now, in the entire ninja school, Hinata Hikaru is the biggest. No one dares to bully Hinata Hikaru or even mock Hinata Hikaru anymore. At least, on the surface. Corrected. The other person frowned. Obviously, it's because the opponent's fist is bigger than yours that you realize your mistake and understand, and then correct it? His words made everyone feel ashamed. In fact, it is. Because Hinata Hikaru is the best at fighting, no one dares to continue bullying her. The so-called understanding is only based on understanding Hinata's fist, rather than a true conscience. This girl revealed the bloody truth. And from ancient times to the present, the truth is the hardest to hear. Everything she said was true, and it was hard to hear. No, that's not the case. Qingxia from Senjidahua broke this uncomfortable situation. You pushed down Obara-san, this is wrong. I am questioning you because I can't stand your wrong behavior. Even if you are stronger than me, I will not bow to you. After a moment of confusion. Well said. What Momika Senja said is so right. Immediately, someone shouted. Apologize quickly. Apologies to Obara-san. Things, suddenly turned around. No one expected that at this moment, it would be Kinjidahwa who played the role of reversing the situation. Sarutobi Ryo even cast a grateful look at her. For a moment, the elementary school students of Konoha united again to denounce this guy who appeared out of nowhere. This kind of noise, the final result will make the other party frown more and more tightly. Until. You guy with no power, stop being annoying around me. A loud shout rang out, overwhelming everyone, and the scene returned to silence again. Momentum. This invisible and metaphysical thing, but something that does exist, swept across the scene and shocked most people. The name of momentum can also be called murderous intention. In this world, murderous intent truly exists. The original work, during the Chunin exam, Orochimaru's eyes widened and he almost scared Kakashi to pee. This is an example. That is the murderous intention that only those who have killed can have. The terrifying murderous intent swept through the bodies of every primary school student, making them tremble. Perhaps, most primary school students still don't understand what this is. But many children from big families were immediately shocked. This guy killed people. They realized this terrible thing. But the problem is, how old is the other party? Judging by her age, this girl is only 7 or 8 years old, similar to them. It's just like the feeling when facing the two Akumi of Cloud Hidden Village. There was a student who expressed his inner feelings. At the beginning, when the two Akumi were fierce, they also had murderous intentions. Although the student did not know the specific matters, he told the facts correctly. Because, this is indeed, murderous. Ugh. Sarutobi Ryo let out a long sigh, and then stared at the other person firmly. It seems that you can't bear your mistakes without violence. That's right, because you are too weak, that's why I can stand here safe and sound. Unspoken. If she hadn't been so strong, she would have been eaten alive by everyone. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 150. I'll come first. Some people couldn't help but walked out of the crowd. Is a girl. I'm going to make you realize your mistake today. The girl let out a clear sound, and the chakra on her body suddenly exploded. She stepped forward and rushed towards the opponent quickly. Well. Down with her, down with this bad woman. The sound of refueling sounded. The primary school students cheered and shouted, but amid their expectations, they saw. Boom. How did you come, how did you go back? Retracing our steps, so to speak. It's just, this time it's not running back, but flying backwards. Hiss. Suddenly, everyone gasped. On the field. The girl with a single braid maintained her punching posture and stood tall on the spot. I don't usually hit women, but if you think you can take advantage of others' danger, that's naive. One punch. Just a simple punch. However, the speed of the move and the timing are much better than that girl just now. Instant kill must be because the person entering the battle is not strong enough. Everyone's thoughts changed. They all thought that they had made too much fuss just now. Replace me. Another person shouted angrily and stood up. This time, I was obviously smarter. I saw. She took out a 4-point shuriken from her ninja tool bag and threw it at her opponent. Call out. The shuriken made a sound of breaking through the air and flew out from 4 directions at 4 different angles. Well. The surroundings immediately burst into cheers. However, the next moment. Brush. Just then, the other party suddenly waved his hands and turned into an after-image. Without even looking, he brushed past 4 flying shurikens. When the movement stopped, the 4 shurikens were completely caught in her hands. Everyone's eyes suddenly opened wide. This hand, holding a shuriken with nothing, is simply unbelievable. This. The girl's eyes widened with disbelief on her face. So, who is this girl with single braids in front of me? The poor, the weak, will give it back to you. There was a low shout, and with the sound of breaking through the air, 4 shurikens flew back. The flight trajectory is unremarkable, but it rotates, strangely. It is not a rapid rotation with the 4 corners as the plane. Rather, it is a flip throwing method that completely violates the basic theory and is like a layman throwing. But this kind of rotation that does not follow the routine is extremely lethal. Because most of the students present have not received any resistance training against this method. Shishi. The 4 shurikens missed the girl's body and then sank into the ground. The girl screamed and knelt down in fright. And when she knelt down, she still didn't forget to sit on the duck and act cute. It really makes people speechless. I have no interest in weaklings. The girl with single braids said coldly. The impatience in her eyes was extremely obvious. The onlookers began to look at each other, and they all saw the shock in each other's eyes. We can't lose face by defeating her. We are ninja students from the Konoha Ninja School. At this time, someone with good intentions shouted, and the originally cool atmosphere became heated again. That's right, the other party is just a person. Finally, a boy moved. He screamed strangely, flew up, and kicked his opponent. Boom. The opponent's backhand was a blow, and a beautiful roundhouse kick knocked the boy who was still in the air to the ground. That's it. One after another, primary school students were beaten to the ground. This scene. It was very similar to the scene a month ago when the ninjas from Union Village brought the elementary school students to cause trouble. This guy is strong. A calm student whispered beside Sarutobi Ryo. Let's see first and then talk. Sarutobi Ryo replied. More than just being strong, ordinary civilian students are no match for her. Senju Momo was a little worried. She couldn't wait to go up now. Do not impulse. Before Sarutobi Ryo could say these 3 words, someone next to him sneered. He is the little carrot head of the Nara clan. He was the scum of the Nara clan who was sullen and had a black eye a few days ago, but now he has reformed, the evil party. Humph, she is very strong. There are so many of us here. In addition to civilian students, there are also students like us, students from big families with big names. She can still rebel. The little carrot head pointed. Look, he is Senju Hasho, a child of the Senju clan. I heard that Senju Hasho's Konoha fluid technique is very powerful. The next moment, his words stopped and he used the Konoha whirlwind. Senju Fengxiang, who he called very powerful, was beaten to pieces by the woman with single braids using the same move. Little carrot head. Actually, Senju Fengxiang is not strong at all. Sarutobi Ryo wanted to say this. After all, Senju Fengxiang was beaten up by Hinata Hikari half a year ago. People from the Akimichi clan are also here. The little Nara carrot head pointed out his hand. Meat bomb chariot, D-level taijutsu, every child of the Akimichi clan can master it, although it is only D-level taijutsu, but combined with the doubling technique, it is very invincible. The next moment, the Akimichi clan's meat munition chariot that he said was invincible, was easily dodged by the opponent, and then. No then. The unlucky child of the Akimichi clan hit his head against the wall, passed out, went, gone. How can she hide from this cunning woman? She should find a way to resist the opponent's attack. The little carrot head started scratching his head. Sarutobi Ryo. Senju de Hwa. After that, the little carrot head barked out the names of the more powerful ninja students from big families. However, these so-called children from big families have no rival in front of the girl with single braid. It's as simple as bullying a primary school student. Bodies suddenly fell on the ground, and the losers kept wailing. The corner of Nara's little carrot head's mouth twitched and he looked at Sarutobi Ryo. Fortunately, we still have one final trump card. He looked at Ryo Sarutobi with eyes full of hope, hoping that Ryo Sarutobi would take action. Of course, Sarutobi Ryo would not sit idly by. In terms of strength, he is in the first echelon of the ninja school, second only to Hikaru Hinata. He is in the same league as Namikaze Minato and Hinata Aya, maybe even stronger than the first two. Sarutobi Ryo thought so. But Sarutobi Ryo didn't want to be sucked to death either. He could see that the poisonous milk of Nara Carrot Head was so powerful that anyone who milked it would die. I'll go first. However, Senju Momo said that she would take action herself. If you can't win, don't be brave. Sarutobi Ryo shook his head. Instead of hypnotizing himself to cheer him up like the others, he spoke depressingly. Senju Muka blinked and nodded, I won't be as reckless as before. After hearing this, Sarutobi Ryo smiled. This smile made Senju Momo blush. After all, Sarutobi Ryo is quite handsome. And, he is the son of Sarutobi Hiruzen, the top student at the Konoha Hidden Village Ninja School and the Sandaime Naruto's ninjutsu professor, and the heartthrob long-legged Appa of Konoha. Be careful. Good, good. Senju Momohwa turned around in a hurry and walked towards the field. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 151. This small detail failed to affect everyone. The primary school students were all excited when they saw Senju Momoka appear. Because among the many children of the Senju clan, Senju Momo is considered the strongest. Seeing her on the stage, everyone couldn't help but recall the battle between her and Hinata Hikari. No matter how strong this girl with a single braid is, she can't possibly beat Hinata Hikaru. Besides, Shivi will look at each other with admiration for 3 days. Compared to before, Senju Momo has become stronger. Everyone is looking forward to Senju Momo's performance. On the field, the two had already started a confrontation. Receive. Senju Dahua made a sound, flicked his hands, and the shuriken flew towards the opponent. This greeting is a warning and a reminder. Reminder of the beginning of the battle. The shuriken test is a common tactic used by ninjas, and shouting beforehand is a bit above board, which is very consistent with the setting of Senju Momoka. Facing the incoming shuriken, the opponent moved several times, like a dancing butterfly, and dodged easily. You are an unreasonable guy who relies on arrogant means to bully others. Can you still be considered a ninja? Senju Muka shouted, moved her body, and ran towards her opponent. She is about to perform her most impressive physical skills. However, when she rushes in front of her opponent and wants to attack, the opponent raised his hands silently. This posture is armistice or surrender. Senju Momo's attack was extremely fast and even came in front of that cheek. But the opponent unexpectedly did not fight back and just maintained a surrender posture. The expression on Senju Muka's face changed from anger to confusion, and her movements stopped. She looked at her opponent's cheek, trying to see something from it, but unfortunately, that calm cheek was as motionless as a solid rock. The self-righteous guy. The other party suddenly said. What did you say? Senju Momo hesitated for a moment. A woman, so she is very naive. Suddenly, the girl with single braids twisted her toes and kicked them out suddenly. Wow! Senju Momoka couldn't avoid it, and the dirt and sand kicked up by the opponent filled her eyes. The eyes were fall down. Boom. The powerful and heavy attack arrives in the blink of an eye. Senju fell to the ground at the sound. She was kicked in the stomach, one of the softest parts of the human body. It may not normally cause death, but it can instantly render her incapacitated. Senju fell to the ground in pain, clutching her abdomen, and everyone. They were all shocked by this despicable method. What kind of trick is this? All the primary school students looked shocked. How can a battle between ninjas be like this? How despicable is this? And the person whom they considered despicable and shameless showed no trace of guilt at all. Not only that, she even looked very serious with her tight cheeks. Woman, can you hear me? Woman, you are careless just because your opponent made some confusing moves? You are a useless ninja. If I don't kill the Holy Mother, go away with the woman. The other party's words were loud and very serious. Anyone can see her attitude towards fighting. Therefore, her gesture temporarily silenced those who intended to condemn her. Damn it! Senju curled up on the ground, shaking with pain, or careless regret. More likely, the other party said she was the Holy Mother. Sarutobi Ryo silently walked forward and stretched out his hand to Senju. The opponent's strength cannot be judged by ordinary people of the same age at all. Whether it's the timing, the proficiency of the physical skills, it makes people feel chills running down their spines. It was a technique, or fighting concept, similar to fighting a ferocious beast. What on earth, what has she been through? Moreover, this deception method of fighting that never tires of being deceitful, is even more skillful in making people break into cold sweats. A standard ninja. This template is perfectly interpreted on her body. A combination of perseverance, strength, cruelty, and ninja cunning. You are strong. After slowly lifting Senju up, Sarutobi Ryo spoke with a solemn expression. But this is not the reason for your misbehavior. Sarutobi Ryo's face darkened, and the aura in his eyes began to emanate. Next, it will be up to me to take care of you. After a moment of silence, the whole place was filled with cheers. Finally, is Sarutobi Ryo about to take action? Finally, Ryo Sarutobi saw his mistress being beaten, so he wants to retaliate against others. Hinata watched the scene with interest. Cough cough. Namikaze Minato coughed a few times to hide his expression. Sarutobi Ryo's strength has always been a mystery. Everyone knows he is strong. But no one knows all of Sarutobi Ryo's trump cards. Unlike other ninjas who are proficient in one or several techniques, Sarutobi Ryo can be said to be an all-rounder. He has all 5 attributes. It is said that he can also perform illusions. And illusion is yin. In other words, Ryo Sarutobi is at least a 6-attribute polygon warrior. So far, there is no opponent who can make Sarutobi Ryo use all the techniques. He is so powerful that he only needs to use the corresponding escape technique against his opponent. So, how many moves can the single braided girl in front of me do under Ryo Sarutobi? Justice is up to me, Sarutobi Ryo. When the opponents saw Ryo Sarutobi coming on the court, they took up their stance. That is to say, so far, the strongest battle is about to begin. I won't show mercy just because you are a girl. Sarutobi Ryo pointed at his opponent and said. Well, that's not necessary, the other party responded coldly. I won't think that you need to rest or anything just because you have gone through a long battle, so, if I win you later, I won't tell you, I can't win with force, and so on. Smug guy. After the tit-for-tat verbal confrontation, both sides stared closely at their opponents. Kaka. The shuriken slipped from his sleeve and came into his hand. Receive. Sarutobi Ryo flicked his right hand, incredibly fast, and with a hiss, he threw out a shuriken. 1. The other party's eyes froze, and he seemed to be in a daze. Ninja. Of course, Sarutobi Ryo couldn't defeat his opponent with just one shuriken. After throwing the shuriken, he began to form seals quickly. Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. But in an instant, the seal was completed, and with a strange sound, the shurikens began to split in large numbers, and finally, from one, it turned into an overwhelming rain of shurikens. It's a very powerful killing move right from the start. Humph. However, the other party just snorted coldly. Faced with an attack that blocked every part of the body, the other party chose. Ka ka ka. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 152. There was a sound of metal clashing, and what came was, the shuriken being pulled out of the ninja bag. More than 20 shurikens linked together, connected by steel wires that glow in the sun. Brush. As the girl with a single braid's right arm shook suddenly, all the shurikens were thrown out at once. Nani? The first person to exclaim was not anyone else, but the students of the Uchiha clan. In the entire Hidden Leaf village, when it comes to playing shuriken, this clan is undoubtedly the most qualified. But even the Uchiha clan does not have this kind of throwing method. Although the Uchiha clan does have a throwing technique that uses wires to control ninja tools, the problem is, how to accurately control so many shurikens when thrown at once. The answer is 99% effort, and 1% talent. Talent is the most important thing, Hinata whispered. Amid everyone's exclamations and incredulous looks, the shuriken thrown out by the wire collided with Sarutobi Ryo's shadow clone shuriken technique. Ding 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 ding. Sparks were flying in the air, and the clash of shurikens was endless. And a few seconds later, a large number of shurikens fell to the ground. Bang bang bang. Half of the shurikens that fell to the ground turned into smoke and dissipated in the air. There is no doubt that these shurikens are fake shadow clones. Is this all you have, Ryo Sarutobi? The other party's voice sounded again. There was a question hidden in that calm face. It's not over yet. Sarutobi Ryo gave a low shout and continued to form seals. That kind of technique. Hinata Xiao frowned and looked at the shurikens scattered in the field. Because of their close combat style, the Hyuga clan is very good at catching swords with bare hands. Therefore, I have an understanding of the throwing methods of various ninja tools. But the problem is, this is a technique that even R.I. Xiangxiao has never seen before. Use the wire to control a large number of shurikens and throw them in an instant. Namikaze Minato was silent for a moment, pondered for a moment, and then decided to speak. If I'm not mistaken, that's the throwing technique of the ninjas of Tsunagakure village. Hidden village. Hinata Xiao was stunned. To be precise, it's a technique often used by the puppet masters of Tsunagakure village. Namikaze Minato's eyes flickered and he stared at the shurikens scattered on the ground and said, almost every puppet master in Tsunagakure village uses this little trick. That's right, for the Tsunagakure village puppet masters who have nimble fingers and can control puppets accurately, throwing a large number of kunao with a wire is just a basic skill. Further up, there are stronger and more flexible chakra lines. Because the puppet masters of Sand Hidden Village are generally weak in close combat, this technique can effectively increase the strike surface and enemy killing efficiency. Rather than throwing them, it's better to say that the puppet masters of Tsunagakure village use shurikens as hidden weapons. So, Could she be related to Tsunagakura village? This time, R.I.C. Xiao did not receive an answer to her question. Namikaze Minato smiled and continued to stare at the field. At this time, Sarutobi Ryo had spit out a water ball. Water escape iron gun jade. The sea-level water escape ninjutsu was used by Sarutobi Ryo, which caused many exclamations. The reason why everyone is surprised is Sarutobi Ryo actually knows how to use Hinata's moves. Then, they thought that this was a matter of course, because Sarutobi Ryo was a hexagonal warrior, and even if he knew Hinata Hikaru's ninjutsu, it was nothing to be surprised about. Gaga, this ninjutsu of Sarutobi Ryo was taught to him by this leader. On the other side, Hinata Hikaru's speech came from the crowd. She had her little hands behind her back and looked pleased. "You're so happy and you didn't teach me this ninjutsu at all." Sarutobi stumbled and almost fell. Of course, he wanted to complain even more crazily. But unfortunately, the current timing does not allow it. Too slow. The other party gave a low shout and jumped up again, easily avoiding Tai Pao Yu. The dexterity is almost unhuman. This is cheating. The wide-eyed Sarutobi screamed inwardly. The promised ninjutsu will definitely hit. This kind of development that did not follow the routine completely confused everyone. It looked like a powerful sea-level ninjutsu that could knock people away, but in the end it didn't even touch the corner of this girl's clothes. How can this be? Snapped. Finally, the opponent landed deftly, spread his legs, and leaned forward, almost crawling on the ground. But, it was obvious that her hands did not touch the ground at all. That is to say, the opponent made an action that was difficult for ordinary ninjas to do. This foul flexibility. Senju Momika, who was watching the battle from the side, had a dazed look in his eyes, and the dissatisfaction in his heart disappeared. Quack, the messenger from hell, the 400 ants dong dong dong, dong dong. Hinata's eyes lit up and she cheered. Because the other party's posture looks very much like the 400 ants. Then, Sarutobi Ryo used more ninjutsu. However, they were all dodged by the opponent one by one. Especially her takeoff left a very deep impression on people. This kind of extremely gorgeous and high jump seems to defy physics. It is simply not an action that ordinary humans can do. Both flexibility and agility are terrifying and amazing. When the girl with a single braid dodged another ninjutsu, Sarutobi Ryo also stopped releasing the ninjutsu. He was already starting to pant. Because continuously releasing ninjutsu requires a large amount of chakra. What's wrong, Sarutobi Ryo? Do you only have this kind of strength? What's the use of your ninjutsu if it can't hit anyone? The other party's question was more like a scolding. The elementary school students who were cheering for Sarutobi gradually stopped talking. They looked at each other, feeling a little disappointed. Because even Sarutobi Ryo couldn't gain an advantage over his opponent. Huh. Sarutobi Ryo gasped, his heart filled with surprise and disbelief. This sudden feeling of powerlessness. Why is this guy so strong? Whether it's strength, or character. Doesn't she have any weaknesses? Everyone has weaknesses, but masters hide their weaknesses. This is quite obvious from the current battle. Sarutobi thought about all the possibilities, but couldn't come to a conclusion. As for why you don't fight with each other in physical skills. Look at the opponent's physique, which can be called a superhero, and his incredible physical skills. And Lin Chen has so many primary school students, won't she be tired? The scene was at a stalemate for a while. And Sarutobi Ryo was also in a dilemma. The other party is so fierce, it is useless to save face and blood. Give me some face, if you say this, you will only be ridiculed by the other party even worse. And exit. I can't keep it on my face. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 153. Too weak. The other party shook his head and said, his face still looking serious. The students of Konoha Ninja School, are these the only levels? A somewhat out of breath Ryo Sarutobi, and a girl with a single braid who looked lonely and desperate. There is a sharp contrast. The students looked at each other in confusion, not knowing what to say. Hey, you're not afraid of flashing your tongue when you talk big? Outside the crowd, a voice came. At some point, a group of ninja teachers were already standing there. They watched the entire competition. Even Wu-Kei had to admit that this girl was very strong, so strong that it was unbelievable. Moreover, the throwing technique used just now is very similar to the ninja in the puppet master army of Tsunagakura village. Combined with her accent. You are a resident of the western town of Fire Country, right? What are you doing in Konoha? Wu-Kei's question immediately made the quiet crowd excited. No wonder none of them knew this overly powerful guy. It turned out, she was really not from Konoha. You know where I'm from, the other person frowned, seeming a little surprised. Teacher Wu-Kei has been to many towns in the west of the Land of Fire. During the First Ninja War, he fought against the ninjas of Tsunagakura village many times. Dozawa explained. As the oldest and most experienced ninja teacher, Mr. Wu-Kei naturally has a prosperous life. 20 years ago. Wu-Kei is a genin. After graduating during the war, he immediately threw himself into the war and gradually became a powerful bald ninja. He is also the only jounin among the ninja teachers at the Chunin level. So, Wu-Sensei is an honorable Konoha ninja. Hearing Tang Zi introduce his life, teacher Wu-Kei's eyes were filled with pride. That was his past experience and a testimony to the times. I can't believe, this bald man is so powerful. I thought he was just a weird uncle with menopause. The student's whispers made Wu-Kei's mouth twitch. What are you talking about, bastard? Then, the student's good-natured laughter came from the crowd. So it is. After the students calmed down, the girl with single braid nodded. The purpose of my coming here is very simple, see. She pointed her finger at the ground. Because of the battle just now, there were many shurikens scattered on the ground. She spilled most of the shurikens. This throwing technique, I learned from the ninjas of Tsunagakura village. Wu-Kei's pupils suddenly shrank. But the students looked at each other in confusion, not thinking there was any meaning in it. But the question Wu-Kei asked next surprised everyone. Let me ask you, have the ninjas from Tsunagakura village invaded the border of the Land of Fire? Yes. The other party nodded. This is the purpose of my coming here. The guys from Tsunagakura village have begun to take action in scattered ways. They said that they are very likely to raid the Konoha border in the upcoming war. Maybe a month later, maybe half a year, or even a year, who knows. The ninja teachers realized the seriousness of the problem. They looked at each other and exchanged opinions quickly and in low voices. Finally, the ninja teachers decided. Take this girl away, take her to the Hokage-sama, and explain the matter clearly in front of the Hokage-sama. Wu-Kei and others are not afraid of the other party lying at all. Because, the skills of the ninjas of Tsunagakura village that she has mastered are the decisive evidence. Don't worry, I have another purpose. The girl waved her hand, interrupting the movements of Wu-Kei and others. Originally, I thought there would be more powerful guys here. In this case, this place is not qualified for me to study in it. Even the son of Hokage is nothing more than that. Her words immediately caused the scene to explode. What are you talking about, silly ex-woman? You want to eat shit? We have more powerful people who haven't taken action yet. The students all blushed and greeted the girl cordially. In the face of thousands of accusations, the other party was completely unmoved. When the shouting subsided, she looked around at everyone. You are saying, there is someone more powerful than Senju Muka? Certainly. More powerful than Uchiha Fire Rock. Definitely. Stronger than Ryo Sarutobi. A little silence. Certainly. As soon as I saw him, the other party smiled. Everyone couldn't understand this smile, but they always felt that it had the meaning of being sarcastic. Okay then, that guy who is stronger than Sarutobi Ryo, come forward and let me see you, the so-called strongest ninja student. Sarutobi Ryo said that he had been stabbed many times for no apparent reason. Hey Hinata Hikaru, it's your turn to appear. The next moment, everyone's eyes turned to Hinata Hikaru, the only hope in the village. No response. So, the question is, what is Hinata doing? She is looking up at the sky. What the hell? Oh. Immediately, someone understood. I saw the student giving everyone a sign, and then he raised his arms and shouted, the leader of the Hinata light sect will be a bucket of paste for thousands of years. Everyone was stunned for a moment, then realized. The leader of Hinata Hikaru has spent thousands of years in a bucket of paste. The leader of Hinata Hikaru has spent thousands of years in a bucket of paste. Sounds came one after another, and the overwhelming roar even reached 10 streets away. The medical ninjas in the medical class whose feet were still warm turned back and looked at the ninja school. What are these people doing? Ho ho ho, there must be something fun happening again. You guys go back first, I'll go see for myself. Tsunade stretched out her hand and ran away without waiting for anyone else to reply. Quack, okay. Hinata lowered his head, stretched out his hand, and signaled to everyone that it was okay. Then, everyone made way for her. Hinata Hikaru swaggered and walked towards the other party with a very arrogant pace. Look, this is called pomp. The students were all smiling, but also frowning. The happy thing is, Hinata Hikaru will definitely be able to save the world as soon as she comes out, just like she did when she beat up the two Akumi. But the problem is, the village's only hope, actually lies in a mental patient. I always feel something is wrong. Sorrow. What a tragedy. It's not just the sorrow of ordinary people, but the failure of Konoha's education is the fault of the system. What's going on in this village? I'll ask you in detail. Each student suddenly fell into deep thought. Perhaps there will be several sociologists and philosophers in the future. This leader thinks you look familiar. As soon as they came up, Hinata started talking. She felt that the other person looked familiar, but she couldn't remember where she had seen him before. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version.